DOTD at this point.
Anything they want to hear out there. Don't make it true.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Red DeSalle. I'm Chief Operations Officer for DOTD. I'm just here to bring you up to date on what we've been doing to ensure the integrity of the roadway on LA 70 and 69 and the bridges in the area of the sinkhole. We're going to talk a little bit about what we got going on right now, what our plans are for the future, and just a general overview. Currently, we're daily doing visual inspections of the roadway. We're providing traffic control and signage as needed. We have weekly bridge inspections going on the 3 bridges that we have in the area. We also are doing some GPS surveying of the roadway and bridges on a monthly basis. We have some fixed points set in the road and on the bridges that we're coming back and surveying and comparing to previous surveys to determine if there's any settlement or movement of the roadway. And thus far, we have not seen anything, either in our visual inspections, our bridge inspections, or in our surveys that indicate the roadway is moving or there's any problems with the roadway.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're also providing some aerial photography resources as requested, and we have a feasibility study that's getting ready to get kicked off concerning new alignments along 70. The feasibility study is going to look at determining alternate routes that may have to be built should the roadway integrity be jeopardized or the bridges be jeopardized. It's the first step in our project delivery process, and it'll help us to identify alternatives that we would look at. Now, as part of this feasibility study, there will be some public meetings to engage the public to find out what the needs are for access in and out of the area and what are some alternative routes that we need to consider. We should have the study starting in the next few weeks, early spring, and finishing late in 2013. But again, this is a first step in project delivery and into delivering a project to do a realignment of 70 if that needs to happen. Also, we've got a traffic contingency plan, so if the roadway has to close or one of the bridges have to close, we've developed a detour plan. We actually have 2 plans. The primary plan, as you can see, is on the slide on your right. A little bit further around, but that's going to be mostly for the heavier traffic. The local detour is a little bit less inconvenient, but it does get you around. One of the reasons we have 2 of them is the local detour will take care of the passenger vehicles and the lighter vehicles. We do have a load rating, a bridge that is load rated on that local detour that would limit trucks up to 15,000 pounds for single axles and 25,000 pounds for dual axles. So we do have a plan in place. It includes signing and variable message signs at the major intersections, trailblazing signs along the routes as we would help people navigate through this detour if one would be needed. Going forward in the future, we're looking at some automated continuous monitoring of the roadway and bridges for movement, tilt meters and accelerometer sensors installed on the 3 bridges. We're also looking at some shaped accelerometer arrays located along 70 between the right-of-way and the sinkhole and at the bridges. So we have a plan going forward for installing some monitoring systems that would be in direct cell communication, so we'd be getting real-time feeds on the information from the sensors at the site. And that would help us have full-time monitoring, and we would know immediately if something happened or moved. We also want to provide some automated continuous monitoring of the roadway and bridges for subsidence. These continuously operating GPS stations, we call them cores, they would work in conjunction with the settlement and tilt meters, and we would space those along the roadway, between the roadway and the sinkhole and at some of the bridge sites. There would be 3 of these core sites for subsidence, 2 at the bridges nearest the sinkhole, and 1 between the roadway and the sinkhole, but near to the roadway. And I got a map right here. It's going to be a little hard to see, but We've got 3 core sites. The core sites, which is measuring the subsidence, would be at each of the bridges, and one nearest the roadway, right opposite the sinkhole. Then the accelerometers and the tilt meters, which would be measuring any kind of movement, would be at the bridges and at 3 points along the roadway in conjunction and coordinated with the courts. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but we do have a layout plan for where we'd like to put this in place and where we think it provides us with the most information for an early warning if something should move and happen to move, and we think the roadway structure or bridge structure would be in jeopardy. Overview is we're going to continue with our current efforts where we're monitoring the roadway daily, the bridges weekly, we're doing some survey work monthly. We're working with our other state partners, GOSEP and 8 and DNR, to coordinate our efforts to make sure that they're not doing something that we could get the same information from that our instrumentation plan would do. So we're talking with them and comparing plans to move forward, and we're working with them to finalize our plans. And once we do that, we plan to implement our plans and put this automated continuous monitoring in place. With that, I'll take any questions. Yes, sir.
What is, talk about the core, what's the